That's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income. You can make music.
This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. Like what the fuck is going on? Who told you that song and did you know all along? And why did your bitch sell that painting 2 weeks after he was gone? I'ma tell you what it feels like. It feels a little fishy. Feels like something's going on ever since that John Legend song and college prediction of a Grammy. If you ask me, I can't.
That's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income. You can make music.
This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. Like what the fuck is going on? Who told you that song and did you know all along? And why did your bitch sell that painting 2 weeks after he was gone? I'ma tell you what it feels like. It feels a little fishy. Feels like something's going on ever since that John Legend song and college prediction of a Grammy. If you ask me, I can't stand him. Seems a little weird. Question number one, why is there no blood? Question number two, Sam left in the AM is true, but you're talking about the shits all up in the afternoon. Don't trip, we're gonna find out the truth soon. Who did what to who? Did they plan to eat the chili fries or was it just a surprise? Can you see the lies of witness in a cowboy's eyes? Are we gonna just sit here and forget? Are we gonna ride like Nip said? It's a little weird that the judge quit. Handing out immunities like candy makes me sick. I got a lot of unanswered questions like, why is the footage all grit and I can't see shit? Who the fuck is that white man in that white BMW? Probably was the FBI. Yeah, I noticed that white guy, and I noticed the car wasn't in the pictures when they showed them afterwards. They thought we would forget. They got that shit backwards. They weren't expecting me to drop this track and raise all these questions with my Mac words. I'm really mobbing through LA smoking backwoods. I've been doing this shit all my life. TMC, AMI. You might just see an empty parking lot when you ride by. Well, me, I see way more. I see an independently owned store. I see the community taking power back, whether you're white, Mexican, Asian, or black. As long as you're not blue. Good ones, there might be a few, but from my life experience, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not defending Eric, but what's the fucking delay? They requested a quick trial, it's been over 800 days. They try to distract us in so many clever, creative ways. Yeah, you got your Grammy, and now you're a billionaire. But what about the families that are still living there? Seems a little unfair, just a little something to compare. I never seen a fireman wearing a bulletproof vest. Yes, the shit to me seems a little suspect. The shit's a little weird. Crisis actors taking away our fathers, making our child some bastards, killing creative men and women for their masters. The waves that Nip wrote in, you didn't know where to begin. A bunch of new chapters, you didn't think about what would happen after. We would put the pieces together on your transparent bullshit. I can see right through it, like the clear blue sky in the LA sunny weather, where the palm trees swing side to side and we ride together on a white horse or a double R hearse in a foreign car. Either way, you gotta be on guard, because they're on tap for anyone who's brown or black with tats. Everybody sees it, but nobody wants to attack. It's sad if you ask, we all gotta blast back. We're in the game, though we can't touch the ball. Seems a little unfair if you ask me, that's all. So take your ignorant ass to YouTube and type in Tanique Reviews to get the real news. We're doing the shit for justice, not views. Sharing knowledge and coming together, that's the real tool. He tried to lead us to the lake, so don't sleep on the knowledge that he gave to me and you. He wanted us to learn from his mistakes, so with our new knowledge, good decisions we could make. And also one thing I wanted to say myself, they killed Dr. Sebi because he was teaching health. Assassins, they come in all shapes and sizes, big booties, hips and thighs. Oh, you're Diddy's girl, right? Oh yeah, John Legend, some things happen at your video shoot. I got a couple questions for you. All those strings you pulled, you still can't make a rap hit. You punk ass little bitch, you probably got a little dick. All the shit that you have to did. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face.
What up, everybody in the chat? What up? What's up? Hello, Miss Sunshine. Yeah, Miss Sunshine just left us a little message on the picture, and I love our garden too, man. Look how they do it. Got my dressing inside of there and mixed it all up, and oh my God, sitting there eating and celebrating with. Here's to good friends. Tonight is very special. And we sitting there and eating Olive Garden and celebrating the Buffalo Bills win. Yay! Buffalo year. That's what it is. Buffalo wins. Josh Allen and the guys couldn't have been prouder, especially working with what they had and did it big time. Big time. I got to be honest, though. Let me get this in the way. Everything on this podcast is alleged and used for entertainment, spiritual, religious, and educational purposes. Yeah, we got that out of the way. I must admit, I knew yesterday that the weather was definitely going to play a factor because a few days before, the stadium was filled with snow. I mean, they had to call out all of Buffalo, literally, to come in and shovel that snow and get the stadium filled. And I knew that field was definitely going to be a factor. There's no question about it. But I knew it was going to be even. I knew it was going to be a factor for Buffalo, and I knew it was going to be a factor for the Ravens as well too. And but you know, it's just cold in Buffalo. If you've never been there, I had the privilege of staying in North Tonawanda. Went to sleep one time. It was a okay day. Went to sleep and woke up and it snowed up all over the door. And so if you ain't been in Buffalo, you just ain't seen the snow in Buffalo. But then it gets cold, real cold. So looking at that snow being on that field all that time and people out there shoveling because it was the fans that came free of charge, volunteer, and cleaned that entire stadium out, the seats and everything. And I remember thinking, I said, you know what? With all that cold, I said that field is going to be a factor. I did. I said it. I said it's going to be a factor. I said to myself, I said, Buffalo may be fighting their own field. I took a look at Buffalo's front line, and I took a look at the Ravens' front line, and I kind of gave the Ravens' defensive line. I kind of gave it to the Ravens' their defensive line. I said, their defensive line, despite snow, because this snow was in Buffalo. I don't know. I just knew that somehow snow was going to be a factor. I didn't know what factor. I had told some people at a place that I was, um, uh, Sunday, early Sunday, after two services, church services. I told some people where I was. I said, I believe that this is going to come down to really a field goal. That's what I believe, and they'll tell you. I said this is going to be a close game. I said that it's probably going to be a 2-point game. They know it. 2-point game. That's what I said it was. And I said it's probably going to come down to a field goal. And I said because that field had already been frozen. And then if anybody watched the game, you knew that it was absolutely snowing like crazy at times during the game. And the field was already frozen in ice. So I was expecting even more fumbles. I was expecting even more drop passes because I knew once the ball started rolling around on the ground, it was going to be affected too because it's cold in Buffalo, cold and a lot of snow. And I didn't see them with no heat warmers or anything trying to warm up the field. And I found that suspicious too. To kind of just throw some heat on the field to get the ice off. So I realized that no, I'm not saying they didn't do it, but usually I would have saw it on a newsreel. I would have saw it on one of the sports podcasts. They would have showed you. So I didn't see them heating up the field or trying to heat the field. So I knew that the Bills just wanted that field cold, period, because they used to playing like that. Just leave it like it is. Get the snow out the way and let's get it down to a point where we can play. And in my mind, I thought it was going to come to a field goal. Now, let me just say this before I go any further on that. What a great game all those guys played. I really hate some of these sports channels. I really do. And I really hate that athletes can't go to college and get another job. Only job they can do is talk about football. 'Cause a lot of them are biased and say stupid things. Like the guy who dropped that pass. Hell, The guy's on a frozen field. Um, his cleats are sliding. He's turning around, off balance. It was a blessing that he caught the ball, but definitely I can see that he slipped and the ball came out, and that could have happened to anybody. What pisses me off is they believe that, oh, if he'd caught the ball, they would have won. I'm like, I never seen so many guys who played sports and so stupid. All it would have been was a tie game. And a tie game, they would have went into overtime, and you don't know who would have won. It wasn't like they were going to get 3 points. No, it was a 2-point conversion. And with a 2-point conversion, you don't know who would have won that game. It just went into overtime. And had they got a touchdown, well, no, the 2-point conversion, it's still going to be in Buffalo's hand. And Josh is just as capable of driving in the field goal range with a couple of passes. He has more completions than Lamar Jackson did. Lamar, Josh Allen has more completions in this one season than some of the greatest quarterbacks who's ever played the game in just this one season. In fact, he has more than Lamar. My point being, if they got that 2-point conversion, you don't know what would have happened. The game would have been tied. And that means possibly we'd have went into overtime. Or at worst, Josh would have got the ball through a couple of passes, which he would have had time for. And he would have maybe got it in field goal range. They would have won by field goal. But to just flat out blame Josh's guy he goes to all the time. I mean, sorry, Lamar's guy he goes to all the time. I was kind of surprised that he dropped that ball because if you watch a couple of the last games, that's a play that guy normally catches that ball. But if you look at the weather, then you can see him slipping, not holding on that ball because he did that play several times before in a couple of the other playoff games. But of course, the field was in better condition for him to turn and for him to get some footing and some traction. You know, it was difficult. And I'm a Buffalo fan. I feel sorry that everybody's jumping on that guy. He's got to live with himself. And some people are just so cruel. They don't know, man. You could make that guy put the whole weight of that on himself, and you don't know how depressed that guy feel. But that was an honest mistake. That's all it was. And it was a weather factor. And after looking at that, I just wonder, maybe they should consider playing all playoff games in warmer climate because they're gonna play the Super Bowl in New Orleans, which I got to call my contact in New Orleans to see if her husband got me some tickets or something. So they're gonna play the Super Bowl in New Orleans. So my point being, you know, why not play all of the playoff games in a warmer climate? You know, so we don't have to worry about that kind of icing and snow and stuff like that, you know, because I hate to see everybody put the blame on that guy. And I just want to say to everybody who's listening to me, that was only a 2-point conversion, which would have put the ball right back in Buffalo's hands. 2 passes from Josh, put them in field goal range, and field goal and game would have still been over. There was no guarantee if that guy would have caught that ball that they were going to win. But it was a guarantee that if he dropped the ball, they were going to lose. It was a good play. Good play. Lamar was fantastic. He drove that team downfield in a few minutes, proving that he himself is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league today, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I think that a lot of people are missing that. That drive by Lamar Jackson was a great drive, especially in snow and ice and in the cold. I mean, that was a great drive, a great drive. He got it down there and almost got a touchdown quicker than anybody that I think I've ever seen. But, you know, like I say, the guy he threw the ball to, I know well, no, he did get a touchdown, but I'm talking about he almost got that 2-point conversion. But the drive to the touchdown is what got them down there. All right. And Lamar did a fantabulous job. And I was a little concerned early in the fourth quarter with Buffalo's defense. It looked like they kind of slagged off because a couple of Lamar Jackson's receivers, I mean, when they caught them balls, they were wide open. They were wide open. And I was like, man. And I had this concern earlier in the year. I said, it looks like Buffalo's defense, just kind of sloughs off in the end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Is like you see all these people that are just wide open. That was one of my concerns about my team. That Josh doesn't have the arsenal that Lamar have. He don't have the receivers, or as far as I'm concerned, or the tight end. Josh is just one of those quarterbacks like Tom Brady. He'll use whoever's available, left tackle, right tackle. He don't care. He'll find a way to get the job done. And that's what makes him so beloved in Buffalo. He will find a way. And he's able to look across the field and find a way. And if he doesn't see a way, then he will carry the ball in himself. He has no problem with running the ball in himself, and I just hate to see them give that guy such a hard time because it was slippery, it was cold, and he made a quick turn and dropped the ball. I mean, okay, he dropped the ball, okay? And so there's not a 2-point conversion. That's a sad thing to happen. But to blame him and say they lost the game, no, they didn't lose the game because he dropped that ball. He didn't lose the game because you don't know had he caught the ball and made it. You don't know again that Josh came and got another turn that he wouldn't have threw 2 passes and actually put the Bills in field goal range and still could have won by field goal. So it's unfortunate that he dropped the ball. I wish that a lot of these sports people would shut the hell up and just enjoy the game and quit attacking these men like they're attacking these men. As if they didn't do their best, because I'm gonna give it to the Ravens. As of right now, in my opinion, I think that was the best game out of the playoff series that I saw with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. I want to give it to both of them. You can only have one winner, but in my opinion, Buffalo and the Ravens won, and that was probably the best game, a nail biter. I could hardly watch it because I was just on nervous edge. Yeah, I had one of my good friends helping me out, and she was giving me she was giving me texts and let me know what was going on, because I'm gonna tell you what happened. This is why, you know what, you gotta really make sure you go all the way through something. I learned something yesterday. I got so disappointed when it looked like that guy caught the ball that I turned and said, forget it, I'm going to host my show. And you guys will see the show. And if you look at the time the show came on, you know that I could not have saw the last minute or so of the game. So I'm mad because, I've been a Buffalo Bills fan since 1972. I went through 4 straight Super Bowl losses. And, so I saw I saw the guy catch the ball, was wondering what the defense was. I just turned it, and I came on, did my show, and I talked about King Solomon yesterday, and I was happy in the Lord, and the Lord encouraged me. Then my friend from Buffalo texted me right during the middle of my sermon. I almost changed my sermon and started talking about the Bills, that Buffalo had won. And when I'm looking at the text, and she goes, Buffalo won. I think it was 25-27. I'm going like, wait a minute. I mean, y'all, I mean, that was a great sermon. Trust me. I have heard from all over the world over yesterday's sermon. My God. I mean, as of right now, I have at least 200 and something emails that I have not even had the chance to really answer yet. So right when he caught the ball, I just got frustrated. Said, forget it, I'm going to do my show. So I did my show thinking that he caught the ball. and they're gonna go in overtime, and I didn't want to watch it. I'm like, God. And then while I'm doing the show, I get a text from my friend, and she says that Buffalo won. And I mean, I almost started talking. Like, wait a minute, how in the world did Buffalo won? Because I knew that the guy caught the ball. I knew they were going to do everything they could to get a foul, a fumble, or something. I just didn't want to see Buffalo lose. And come to find out, it was the truth. They actually won, and I got very happy about Buffalo winning and making the AFC Championship. And I think they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs too. Now we know that Kansas City has help from the refs, allegedly. They get some crappy calls. So as long as some crappy calls are not called on Buffalo, I believe that Buffalo can beat the Bills. I mean, beat the Chiefs because we've already done it already. One of the losses that the Chiefs had this year was Buffalo beat them uh, with precision. So as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't have no problem Sunday beating them again and going to the Super Bowl. So I want to shout out to my peeps in Buffalo and North Tonawanda. Yes, the Bills did it. Look like this is going to be our year. I mean, New York would probably go crazy. Canada would too. I mean, just imagine how much money the NFL would make if the Buffalo Bills brought home the Super Bowl. They would make more money out of Buffalo than they made out of Kansas City, that's for sure. I think the most money they ever made was in 1985 with the Chicago Bears. They ain't never seen no money like that when the Chicago Bears finally won a Super Bowl. Shoot, that was some real money for the NFL. A lot of y'all don't think they want teams like Buffalo to win. They do because those markets like that pay a lot of money. NFL makes money. A lot of these big city people, they don't make money. Mm-hmm. A lot of big city people, they don't make money like they do when a small market team um, makes money. Now, with the Kansas City Chiefs, you can understand they had to build a dynasty. A lot of money went into Patrick Mahomes. A lot of money goes into Taylor Swift and dating that guy. They do all of that, spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. But on some small market teams, they don't have to spend a lot of money to make money. Nope. They actually, the fans and stuff just be so happy that their team won that a place like Buffalo, New York, or New York in general, if their team won the Super Bowl, you can imagine that New York would just go crazy. There's no question about it. They would go berserko and they would buy everything up. There's no question about it. And that's where the NFL makes their money at, all of their money. So I'm very proud of the Bills. I'm a Bills fan. And we want to go into next week and we want to do better against Kansas City and beat Kansas City. That's for sure. We want to beat the Chiefs. No question about it. Let me see if I missed anybody's comment. No, nobody's commented. That's good. So I just want to celebrate the Buffalo Bills, and I'm a proud Bills fan. I'd like to believe I'm the number one Bills fan out here, and I'm absolutely happy for the Buffalo Bills and their accomplishments and everything that they accomplished. I am just completely joyful about Buffalo and their win over the Baltimore Ravens. And you know what? I think the point spread from the beginning of that game was, ooh, I think it was 1 point or something like that, 1 or 2 points anyway. So from the beginning, most people thought that this could go any way possible, you know. But it was a great game, and I wish that a lot of these, again, sports announcing people just understood it was a great game. That's what it was, a great, great game. And it could have went any way. It could have went any way possible, and it was exciting. It was thrilling. It was everything that you wanted in a football game. No question about it. Everything that you wanted in a football game, it was there. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, it went back and forth. You had snow, you had excitement, you had some breakout runs. You had a lot of good things, a whole lot of good things in that game yesterday. And I love close games like that, but phew, that was a little too close. And you can see it was so close that, again, after the guy called the pass, I know exactly what it was that I did when he to me it looked like he caught the pass. And I thought, of course, the refs were gonna cheat and they were gonna call it a touchdown. And I just turned it and I came on the air. Like I say, you guys can go and look at the video I did on King Solomon Desert Training. Look at the time I came on, and you'll see that I didn't stay. I just made this big assumption. I didn't stay. And so because I didn't stay, I didn't catch the tail end, and I had all this stuff in my mind. Ref's gonna cheat, NFL's gonna cheat, Josh Allen's gonna lose when Josh Allen should definitely win and should definitely get the MVP. There's no question about it. And I could not believe that when my friend came on live on the show, they put up inside of the box that Buffalo actually won. And I was so excited. And then we got a chance to end the podcast, and I was able to go back and watch the last maybe a minute and a half of it and see my team won. And I was so excited, boy. I could not believe it. But that just goes to show you, man, sometimes you got to stick around to the end of something because it reminded me of a game of basketball that I watched some years ago when Reggie Miller used to play for the Indianapolis Pacers. And Indianapolis was playing um, the New York Knicks. And you can go look this up on YouTube too. This has to be one of the greatest games. And I think that when it comes to performances, this performance by Reggie Miller was one of the greatest basketball performances ever, and it's still not talked about. I think Indianapolis was down. I mean, Indiana was down. Indianapolis, Indiana, they were down by about maybe 9 or 10 points, and uh, it's less than 2 minutes left in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe two and a half, but I'm gonna say it's less than 2 minutes left in that game. And if you look at the footage, the camera is going to pan on all of the fans. So most of the Indianapolis Pacers fans got up and they began to leave, believing that the Indianapolis Pacers were going to lose. They got up for real, started walking out. All the cameras, I mean, the stadium had emptied. The stadium had emptied, and Indianapolis had came to the conclusion that the Knicks were going to beat um, uh, Reggie Miller and the Indianapolis Pacers. Then one of the greatest performances that has ever been done in basketball history happened with Reggie Miller, which would seal him being a Hall of Famer, where he came back, I think, in less than 11 seconds and scored 9 or maybe 11 points. Yes, shot the ball, hit a three, stole the ball, they threw him the ball, another three, stole the ball again, and threw it to Reggie, another three. And now I think Indianapolis took the lead, and all their fans are outside and they can hear what's going on the radio and stuff. And so now they're trying to fight to get back inside because it looks like Indianapolis is going to win. And Indianapolis did win that game. They should not have won, but a basketball performance by Reggie Miller at the last minute and a half, maybe a minute, 45 seconds, actually um, showed that Reggie Miller was Steph Curry before Steph Curry ever came around. He'd been popping those threes like that all of his whole career. But in that game, he outdid himself. And I'm going to tell you, that in my mind in the NBA is one of the top 5 performances of all time. That's the truth. No joke, no cap. One of the top 5 performances of all time was done by Reggie Miller and the Indianapolis Pacers. I mean, that was just a heck of a basketball game. So when I was watching the game yesterday with the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens, and I got so upset when the guy. I thought he caught the ball. I really did. I actually thought he caught the ball. I thought they were going to get the 2-point conversion, and I turned. I just said, forget it. Here we go, another season with the Buffalo Bills. After the 4 Super Bowl losses with Jim Kelly, 4. Now that was the Buffalo Bills team that 4 even though they lost all 4 Bowls, I'll tell you what you'll never see again in your lifetime. Unless Patrick Mahomes. No, wait a minute. I don't think Pat Mahomes did it consecutively. I don't think so. If you did, somebody in the contacts, leave me a message on whether or not the Kansas City Chiefs went 3 Super Bowls straight. I don't think they did. I know they have won 3, but I don't think they were 3 straight. And if I'm right, Buffalo is the only team to go to 4 straight Super Bowls. They may have lost, but I don't believe you'll ever in your lifetime see another team that's able to go 4 Super Bowls straight 4 times in a row. 4 years straight. And even though they lost all 4, but nobody else has ever done that before, to go and get at least 4 turns at a Super Bowl. So Buffalo has been one of the most outstanding football programs of all time. And it is a shame that they haven't won a Super Bowl. And this is a year where they're not the best team in the NFL, but they are definitely in the top 4 in my book. And you can see now they're going for an AFC championship. And I think if they win the AFC championship by beating the Kansas City Chiefs, they will definitely go to Super Bowl. And I spoke about the turnovers on the Ravens side earlier. I don't know if you heard me or not. And I was surprised, because what I was telling somebody, and I think we may have been talking. I said, that field. I mean, people don't know about Buffalo's field. I'm gonna find some pictures and get some pictures and put those pictures so people can see it. That field had anywhere from 6 to 7 feet of snow. The entire field was covered with snow, frozen snow. It was frozen and it was cold. And they asked the fans to come out and get that snow out of there. And Buffalo showed up. They cleared the seats. They cleared the field. So I was expecting that field to be slippery. I was expecting some turnovers. And I'm going to be honest with you, on both sides, I was expecting more turnovers than what I got. I was. And I was surprised at how many turnovers the Ravens had. I think they had like 3. Those turnovers were very costly turnovers, and I was proud of Buffalo because they turned at least one of those turnovers, I think, into a touchdown. So yeah, you got to do that. Yeah, and I know. Wait a minute. Now you know my nerves bad watching the Bills. Okay, I'm sorry. You talking about? I gotta wait till the fat. I couldn't wait till the fat lady sing. Do you understand what it's like to be a Bills fan since 1972? I was a Bills fan the year before O.J. Simpson came. And do you know what it's like to do that? And then finally, we get a team: Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, and Thurman Thompson, and we get this magnificent team and get to the Super Bowl. Then you lose one, okay, and then the next year you come back and the team and they go back to the Super Bowl, you lose two. Then the next year you get to the team and you come back and go to the Super Bowl, you lose three. The next year you get to the team and they go back to the Super Bowl 4 years straight and you lose. You know how disheartening that is? And then you talk about um, a couple of those like that drive that Lamar did. Listen, if you go back and watch that drive, I was watching about an hour ago. If you go back and watch that drive had all Buffalo fans nervous. When Lamar it was like what three free throws and the third one was a touchdown. You know, as a Buffalo Bills fan, you started saying, "Heck, I've seen this before." you know, you started saying, "Heck, I've seen this before." But uh, I was expecting them to maybe go for a field goal, and I was expecting them to put the pressure on the defense. Never, and I want you to hear me, never in my mind would have thought that the Ravens coach would have went for two because of the on-field conditions. Um, that was going to be asking a lot of your tight ends, of your receivers, but he went for two. And I did not believe, at least I didn't want to believe, that they were going to have a person wide open. And he caught the ball, and I turned it. I said, man, they got a 2-point conversion. I said, they finna give the Ravens this game. And I turned it. But I had to turn it anyway. It wasn't that I wasn't staying to the fat lady sing because the show was scheduled for 9 o'clock. And I had already postponed the show the day before. And so when I put the show up there and people show up and then I don't do the show, then they start blasting me with emails and stuff like, I was there waiting. You were going to talk about Solomon. And I said, okay, I can't do that today. It's Sunday. People want to hear it. And I delivered them the word of God as best as I possibly could. And I was just sitting there sad. I was actually on air going like, man, how could this happen again? And then when you came on and you put in that box, that Buffalo one, boy, I tell you, I had a hard time. I can see now why churches let out early, uh, where I'm at anyway. They let out early so they can go home and watch them games because ain't nowhere in the world these preachers here who love football could keep talking and their favorite team is playing. So a lot of churches where I'm at, they turn out early so they can concentrate on the football game. They can have church concentrate on the football game because man, when you came and told me they won, I almost changed my subject. Woo! Man, I'm gonna change my subject. The Bills won. And you're right. You're supposed to stay there and wait till the fat lady sings. It's not over until she gets her vocals. You're right. I totally agree, Jennifer. You're right. Absolutely. But hey, I'm one of those long-term Buffalo fans that's still waiting for the Bills to win a Super Bowl. And I know that when they win a Super Bowl, it is going to be something in Buffalo. When the Bills win the Super Bowl, I tell you, it's going to be something. And I believe that we have a great chance in going and win against Kansas City. We didn't beat them already. I mean, we beat them good too. So all this people thinking that Kansas City just gonna breeze right through Buffalo, you gotta be crazy. It's not gonna happen like that. Uh-uh. Again, Kansas City has a secret weapon, and if the NFL wants to use it, we know the referees are gonna call some bull crap calls. Because some of the teams Kansas City beat, they shouldn't have beat them. But the refs call crappy calls. And I'll be glad when people get tired of it and stop supporting this team if the only way they're going to win is by the hands of the referees. If they can't go out and win like other teams have won, they need calls from the referees. I don't think nobody should support Kansas City. That's just the way I feel. Some of the calls Kansas City have gotten has been ridiculous, and they shouldn't have got, and that caused them to win some games. I mean, they get help, I believe, from the referees and the NFL. And I'll say this like I never said it before, that the NFL said there would never be a team in Las Vegas, never, because they didn't want gambling on the NFL. Well, now the number one gambling source of money in all the sports is the NFL. Billions and billions of dollars, from my reading, was traded yesterday on these football games. Now, although the owners and the players can't gamble, but nothing stops their family members from gambling. So you could be an owner, your wife can go put $3 million on the Bills, and that explains why the Bills won. See, people don't look at that. These people make a lot of money, and you can bet they split the profits with those gambling places or whoever's running in the mob or whoever. And I just got some questions when it comes to Kansas City, because Kansas City is getting too many favorable calls that are not true. And it just makes me wonder about that team, and why they doing that, especially when they're clearly beat. So if it's a fair game and no dumb referee calls, I think we can beat this team and beat this team by a touchdown. Yes, I believe that Buffalo can win and should win, and I believe they will win and beat Kansas City by a touchdown and go to the AFC Championship. I think it'll probably be Buffalo and the Eagles. That's what I believe. It'll be Buffalo and the Eagles. Who you got for the championship, Jen? I got Buffalo and the Eagles. Let me put it in here so people can see how I said it. Buffalo versus, let's see, versus Eagles. What did I do? E. That's what I believe. Buffalo versus Eagles. That's who I got. Who you got, Jen? Who you pick? Either way it go, it's going to definitely be a challenge. But I think that it'll definitely be Buffalo versus Eagles. Mm-hmm. Buffalo Bills all the way. Super Bowl 25 winner take all. Same. Hear what I'm saying? I mean, I just see it a clash. Now, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't one of the Super Bowl losses that Buffalo had, wasn't one of them to the Eagles? I know we lost to the Dallas Cowboys, and I think we lost one to the Giants. But I know we lost four. So wasn't one to the Eagles? Wouldn't this be a rematch? Buffalo all the way. But yeah, I think Buffalo, it's going to be Buffalo versus the Eagles in New Orleans, Louisiana for the Super Bowl, where I'm going to be. Now, I hope I got some tickets. I'm going to be making my phone call to see if I got some tickets. But if I don't have some tickets, I'm still gonna be in New Orleans with friends at the Super Bowl. Gonna watch the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be in New Orleans. New Orleans, here I come. I'm coming to hot dog, style, and profile. I think he's gonna be at the Superdome. Let's see. I don't know. I caught the kicker of one game. Okay. So yeah, but it's gonna be a great game. And I think um this would definitely be um a great matchup too. Eagles and Bills. It even sounds good. The Eagles versus the Bills. And the Bills will finally bring home to Buffalo the Super Bowl championship. That even sounds good. Fairy tale story. No question about it. No question about it. Go Buffalo Bills. I enjoyed that game so much. I went out today with some of my, well, I ain't gonna say they Bills fans. A lot of people here were really rooting for Lamar. And I don't get that. I root for the whole team. I'm not just a Josh Allen fan. I'm a fan of all of the Bills, the team, period. Even when they change, I'm still a fan of the team. I'm still a fan of some of the old players, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, Thurman Thompson. I'm a fan of the players, Bruce Smith. I'm a fan of the players in general. But here, where I am, people were just a Lamar fan. They were a fan of the quarterback, and they just wanted them to hand the game over to the quarterback. So they were sorry that Lamar left, that Lamar lost. Not the team, but that Lamar lost. And they saw the MVP trophy go away when he lost as well, too. And so they were sorry about that. I'm like, man, it was a great game. And given the conditions, again, if you look at the conditions, uh, I can understand why that guy couldn't handle that ball. Moving at that speed, trying to twist and turn on ice, and he dropped the ball. And you can ask a lot of questions. Why didn't the coach go for 1 point and then try to let the defense, because the defense was pretty good, let the defense try and get a fumble? There was a lot of turnovers. It's not like they couldn't do it. But to jump on the one guy because he dropped the ball, and most people are just slamming him because he dropped the ball, trying to say he lost it. And that's what Lamar came on and said, that guy has been rock solid and been their go-to all year long. He said he dropped the ball, big deal. He said it was a team game. And then Lamar said out his own mouth, he said, you ain't going to win no game with the amount of turnovers that they had. He said other people turned the ball over, but everybody want to just kick the guy who dropped the ball. I don't know who he is. I'm not a fan of the Baltimore Ravens, but I am a Buffalo Bills fan, and I'm so proud for Josh Allen, man, out there doing it big on the field, using whatever he's got, not complaining, like some people, not blasting the organization because they couldn't go out and get him a dominant tight end or a dominant center. He's just using what he got and just doing the best he can with what he got. And those guys are doing the best they can. And to me, that's good football. So your number one fan of the Buffalo Bills is in the building with the number two fan, Jennifer Harris. She in the building. And we say that it's Buffalo all the way. Buffalo all the way. Super Bowl 2025. Winner take all. And that's going to be the Buffalo Bills. And in my mind, I believe they're probably playing the Philadelphia Eagles. So we signing out. Hope you people have a wonderful night. For some of you guys, a wonderful morning. And I'm going to continue celebrating the win of the Buffalo Bills. To all my subs, to all my followers, as usual, one nation.
That's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income, you can make music.
This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. Like what the fuck is going on? Who told you that song and did you know all along? And why did your bitch sell that painting 2 weeks after he was gone? I'm gonna tell you what it feels like. It feels a little fishy. Feels like something's going on ever since that John Legend song and college prediction of a Grammy. If you ask me, I can't stand him. Seems a little weird. Question number 1, why is there no blood? Question number 2, Sam left in the AM is true, but you're talking about the shits all up in the afternoon. Don't trip, we're gonna find out the truth soon. Who did what to who? Did they plan to eat the chili fries or was it just a surprise? Can you see the lies of witness in a cowboy's eyes? Are we gonna just sit here and forget? Are we gonna ride like Nip said? It's a little weird that the judge quit. Handing out immunities like candy makes me sick. I got a lot of unanswered questions like, why is the footage all grit and I can't see shit? Who the fuck is that white man in that white BMW? Probably was the FBI. Yeah, I noticed that white guy, and I noticed the car wasn't in the pictures when they showed them afterwards. They thought we would forget. They got that shit backwards. They weren't expecting me to drop this track and raise all these questions with my Mac words. I'm really mobbing through LA smoking backwoods. I've been doing this shit all my life. TMC, AMI. You might just see an empty parking lot when you ride by. Well, me, I see way more. I see an independently owned store. I see the community taking power back, whether you're white, Mexican, Asian, or black. As long as you're not blue. Good ones, there might be a few, but from my life experience, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not defending Eric, but what's the fucking delay? They requested a quick trial, it's been over 800 days. They try to distract us in so many clever, creative ways. Yeah, you got your Grammy, and now you're a billionaire. But what about the families that are still living there? Seems a little unfair, just a little something to compare. I never seen a fireman wearing a bulletproof vest. Yes, the shit to me seems a little suspect. The shit's a little weird. Crisis actors taking away our fathers, making our child some bastards, killing creative men and women for their masters. The waves that Nip wrote in, you didn't know when it began. A bunch of new chapters, you didn't think about what would happen after. We would put the pieces together on your transparent bullshit. I can see right through it, like the clear blue sky in the LA sunny weather, where the palm trees swing side to side and we ride together on a white horse or a double R hearse in a foreign car. Either way, you gotta be on guard, because they're on tap for anyone who's brown or black with tats. Everybody sees it, but nobody wants to attack. It's sad if you ask, we all gotta blast back. We're in the game, though we can't touch the ball. Seems a little unfair if you ask me, that's all. So take your ignorant ass to YouTube and type in Tanique Reviews to get the real news. We're doing the shit for justice, not views. Sharing knowledge and coming together, that's the real tool. He tried to lead us to the lake, so don't sleep on the knowledge that he gave to me and you. He wanted us to learn from his mistakes, so with our new knowledge, good decisions we could make. And also one thing I wanted to say myself, they killed Dr. Sebi because he was teaching health. Assassins, they come in all shapes and sizes, big booties, hips and thighs. Oh, you're Diddy's girl, right? Oh yeah, John Legend, some things happen at your video shoot. I got a couple questions for you. All those strings you pulled, you still can't make a rap hit. You punk ass little bitch, you probably got a little dick. All the shit that you have to did. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face.